Good morning and welcome back to another episode of The Longing. It has only just ticked past midnight for me here, but I do need to do this recording now because I'm going to be out all of today from when I wake up in the morning until after probably closer to or after midnight tonight. So it is 10 past midnight on Saturday the 11th of February, and we're going to do our usual reading so that we don't miss a day. So let's just get on with it. The generous Greeks recede with tardy pace, though Mars and Hector thunder in their face. None turn their backs to mean ignoble flight. Slow they retreat, and even retreating fight. Who first, who last, by Mars's and Hector's hand, stretched in their blood, lay gasping on the sand. Tenthras the great, Orestes the renowned, for managed steeds and Trecus pressed the ground. Next, Oenormus and Oenops, offspring died. Oresbius last fell, groaning at their side. Oresbius in his painted mitre gay, in fat Boeotia, held his wealthy sway. Where lakes surround low Hyle's watery plain, a prince and people studious of their gain. The carnage Juno from the skies surveyed, and touched with grief bespoke the blue-eyed maid. O sight accursed, shall faithless Troy prevail? And shall our promise to our people fail? How vain the word to Menelaus given, by Jove's great daughter and the queen of heaven. Beneath his arms that Priam's towers should fall, if warring gods forever guard the wall. Mars, red with slaughter, aids our hated foes. Haste, let us arm, and force with force oppose. She spoke, Minerva burns to meet the war, and now heaven's empress calls her blazing car. At her command rush forth the streets divine, rich with immortal gold their trappings shine. Bright Hebe waits by Hebe ever young, the whirling wheels are to the chariot hung. On the bright axle turns the bidden wheel, of sounding brass the polished axle steel. 8 brazen spokes in radiant order flame, the circle's gold of uncorrupted frame. Such as the heavens produce, and round the gold 2 brazen rings of work divine were rolled. The bossy naves of soled silver shone, braces of gold suspend the moving throne. The car behind an arcing figure bore, the bending concave formed an arch before. Silver the beam, extended yoke was gold, and golden reins the immortal coursers hold. Herself impatient to the ready car, the coursers joins and breathes revenge and war. Pallas disrobes her radiant veil untied, with flowers adorned, with art diversified. The laboured veil her heavenly fingers wove, flows on the pavement of the court of Jove. Now heaven's dread arms her mighty limbs invest, Jove's cuirass blazes on her ample breast. Decked in sad triumph for the mournful field, o'er her broad shoulders hangs his horrid shield. Dire black tremendous round the margin rolled, a fringe of serpents hissing guards the gold. Here all the terrors of grim war appear. Here rages force, here tremble flight and fear. Here stormed contention, and here fury frowned, and the dire orb portentous Gorgon crowned. The massy golden helm she next assumes, that dreadful nods with 4 o'ershadowing plumes. So vast the broad circumference contains 100 armies on 100 plains. The goddess thus the imperial car ascends, shook by her arm the mighty javelin bends. Ponderous and huge that when her fury burns, proud tyrants humbles and whole hosts o'erturns. Swift at the scourge the ethereal coursers fly, while the smooth chariot cuts the liquid sky. Heaven's gates spontaneous open to the powers, 155. Heaven's golden gates kept by the winged hours, 156. Commissioned in alternate watch they stand, the sun's bright portals and the skies command. Involve in clouds the eternal gates of day, or the dark barrier roll with ease away. The sounding hinges ring on either side, the gloomy volumes pierced with light divide. The chariot mounts where deep in ambient skies confused Olympus' 100 heads arise, where far apart the thunder fills his throne, o'er all the gods superior and alone. There with her snowy hand the queen restrains the fiery steeds, and thus to Jove complains. O sire, can no resentment touch thy soul? Can Mars rebel, and does no thunder roll? What lawless rage on yon forbidden plain? What rash destruction, and what heroes slain? Venus and Phoebus with the dreadful bow smile on the slaughter and enjoy my woe. Mad furious power whose unrelenting mind no god can govern and no justice bind. Say, mighty Father, shall we scourge this pride, and drive from fight the impetuous homicide? To whom assenting thus the Thunderer said, Go, and the great Minerva be thy aid. To tame the monster god Minerva knows, and oft afflicts his brutal breast with woes. He said, with Saturnia ardent to obey, lashed her white steeds along the aerial way. Swift down the steep of heaven the chariot rolls, between the expanded earth and starry poles. Far as a shepherd from some point on high, 157, o'er the wide main extends his boundless eye. Through such a space of air with thundering sound, at every leap the immortal coursers bound. Troy now they reached, and touched those banks divine, where silver Simois and Scamander join. There Juno stopped, and her fair steeds unloosened, of air condensed a vapour so confused. For these impregnate with celestial dew, on Simois' brink ambrosial herbage grew. Thence to relieve the fainting Argive throng, smooth as the sailing doves they glide along. The best and bravest of the Grecian band a warlike circle round Tydides stand. Such was their look as lions bathed in blood, or foaming boars the terror of the wood. Heaven's empress mingles with the mortal crowd, and shouts in Stentor's sounding voice aloud. Stentor the strong, endued with brazen lungs, 158, whose throats surpassed the force of 50 tongues. Inglorious Argives, to your race a shame, and only men in figure and in name. Once from the walls your timorous foes engaged, while fierce in war divine Achilles raged. Now issuing fearless they possess the plain, now win the shores, and scarce the seas remain. And with that, we are basically at the end of the episode. We've got 103 pages left, roughly, of this book. It's been a bit of a read, shall we be honest. And it seems like there is quite a lot more still to go, what with there being another set here and here. Yeah, that's going to take us a while. But never mind, we are going to make our way through it, probably, unless I decide I give up. So, thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you all have a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon, or night. No matter what time of day it is, I hope you all have a wonderful one of it. And as always, we will be back tomorrow for more of The Longing. Goodbye.